Hello, guys. So today we are at the museum. What's the exact name of this museum, Tom?
It's Museu Negro Liberto. It's Museu Senzala Negro Liberto Museum. Black people free.
Yes, the
Free.
Museum of Black Freedom. It's like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in this little town of Redenção. What a lot of people don't know is that this is actually the first place in Brazil, in the whole country, to liberate slaves.
Yes.
There was actually a huge abolition movement that was very strong here before the rest of the country freed the slaves. And this place, this is an old what do you call it? Engenho. It's like
Yes,
it's like a sugar cane. It was an old sugar cane processing place. And as I understand, they have like they still have the big house and
Yes,
the
the big
slaves'
house.
quarters.
Yes, the big house and the slaves' quarters. It's the place where the family that owns slaves and used to have them work for them in the processing of sugar cane. So they changed the house into a museum. So we're going to see the old house, like with all the elements of the old house, and also the slaves' quarters underneath the house. You're going to see.
Okay, and I think they also have the old plant where they used to do the sugar cane. They have these.
Well, they still.
Oh, hold on.
Well,
They still have these. There are these two gorgeous murals here that kind of tell the story. And there's also one on the other side. It just sort of tells the story of what this was about. So we're going to go and take a tour of the house.
And also, this place belongs to this sugar. How do you call cachaça?
Cachaça is sugar cane alcohol.
Yes, so it belongs to this factory of it's called Douradinha, gold cachaça.
Okay, so yeah,
Gold
so they
alcohol.
still produce things from the sugar cane. They're still
Yeah.
producing that sugar cane alcohol, but without the slaves. Thank
Yes,
God.
thank
So
God.
see y'all in a second.
Bye.
So I think that's the main part of the museum. So guys, this place is very well preserved. Yeah, you can see a lot of photos and objects here that are... How old is this place, Tom?
De que ano é aqui?
1750.
Então, quantos anos?
Anos.
More than 272 years. So
Yeah.
it's from the 1750s.
Yeah, so some of these... so of course everything here isn't 270 years old, but you definitely have a sense of the history. They've preserved the place very nicely.
Yes. He said that most of the structure is preserved. It passed from some renovation through all the years, but
Yes.
most of it is preserved, well preserved.
Yes.
Aí aqui é a sala de fotografias. Essas fotos aí ao lado são familiares e amigos do atual dono.
So Tom, can you tell the story about what he said about the floor here?
Yes, we are in the kitchen. So that's a replica of the stove, and most of it is preserved. And he said that the floor here is this way with no spaces, no holes. It's on purpose because the senzala, the place where the slaves used to stay, is underneath here. So it's like this in order not to any food, extra food found out for them.
Okay, so yes, in the rest of the house you have these wooden floors like this, but in the part where the slaves' quarters are, which we'll visit soon, they didn't want any extra nourishment to fall down there.
Yes.
That's how cold they were. Okay, so Tom, I was calling this the Freedom Bell earlier, but what's the reality? What's the story of this bell here?
It's the opposite of freedom. It's a bell that would tell them the time to start working at 5 in the morning, starting at 5 in the morning and stopping at 6 in the afternoon without a lunch break. They would give them breakfast, just a shot of alcohol, and they would eat only at 6 in the afternoon after all the job was done.
So 13 hours of work.
Non-stop working, yes.
No
13.
lunch and barely any food.
Yes.
So guys, this is the hard part. This is where we go to the slaves' quarters to see what their living conditions were like. Okay, so guys, this is very, very tough in here. This is where they kept the slaves underneath the house. And you really can feel just how oppressive and dark it is in here. Hot, no air. Wow, it's really interesting. There are bats. Are these bats that live here?
Yes, bats, yes.
So they're screwing up my focus. Yeah, so there are bats living in here. They probably have always lived here. And they have some murals on the wall to try to give us an idea of the experience of the people here. But yes, it is not easy to be in here, guys. Wow. Very sad. Okay, guys, so the tour guide has told us the story of this area here. It's like
It's a punishment space, so it farther it goes, smaller the place is.
Yes.
So depending on the thing the person had done, considered more
bad, like
bad,
more.
yes,
Yes.
worse things they did, they would go deeper and further and smaller in the place. So the guys, the enslaved people, they were like 1 meter 90, and so it was very difficult for them, and they would be in that instrument of torture called viramundo that would hold at the same time hands and legs.
Yes, and you can see it's hard for you to get a sense of this, how short this is, but yes, as you go deeper in and deeper in, like if I get up on this part, I cannot stand up straight. I'm about 5'7", and the deeper that you would go, the smaller and more claustrophobic it would be. And they also have like tiny jail cells, I think you can see there, little jail cells that they used to keep people in also. Very difficult to hear. Okay, so these are the slaves, I guess the little rooms that they lived in.
But they would also be held on that.
Yes, they would be. This is the torture area where they would be locked up. Oh, yeah, it's really, really dark and oppressive down here.
Aí aqui é a sala dos troncos. Os troncos não são originais, eles foram trocados em 2010.
Ah, eles apanhavam aqui.
Isso. Tinham lá fora.
This is a
Mas
scene.
aqui era para os mais rebeldes.
Okay. Okay, so we have another sad story about this area. I don't think you can see it, but it's a very, very tiny space with a small door. Yeah, that's a little bit better, with this small door inside the wall.
It's a confinement place, and the people would be close there, like on the wall, and it's bigger because they would like
Scratch and claw.
yes, with their own hands.
Go stand in there to give us an idea of how small that space is. So, yeah, so they would be in there with the door closed inside the wall as punishment. Very sad. So this is another area of punishment. This is the area where they would hold people in these things by the neck as a form of punishment. And he was explaining that children as young as 10 would be in this one, the shorter one. And there's one for women and one for men. And again, this is under the original house. So you kind of have to, if you're a tall person like I am in Suezo, you have to walk kind of stooped over in here. And I assume that these bats have always been here too. But yeah, you can really get a sense of just how they lived. They don't have the sterilized version like a lot of our slaves' quarters have in America. So this place is just, it's really difficult. I know I keep saying that, but I can't stress it enough to imagine what their lives were like. These bats are actually kind of cute. If you come here, they are not aggressive. They're like adorable little butterflies with faces. So guys, it's really hard. We're at the end. We're kind of at the end of the tour, and it's really interesting to see the history, to know the history of the family and the slaves. It is very difficult to go under the house and sort of fathom the lives of the slaves, but I do think that it is a very important history to tell, and I am glad that they have not sanitized it at all, and they show the reality of their lives. But we do get to end on a lighter note. They have a little store here, and we're gonna come in here and sit for a minute and get something to drink and some snacks. And you can also purchase the cachaça that this place, they still make this, they still produce this cane sugar cachaça. So I'm definitely going to be getting a bottle of this for us tonight. So see you in a bit. Okay, so just getting one more shot before we leave. This place really is magnificent. Very powerful journey here today. So I definitely recommend coming here if you can. Hi guys. Okay, so we did come up the first I guess big flight of stairs so that we could get to the first church here, and also so that we could have this fabulous view of the city. And the first set of stairs is not that difficult, so you can come. But the other flight is much more challenging. This is when you continue up the stairs, it's about an hour before you get to the top. But the place is definitely worth checking out. Very, very cute. Beautiful view of the city. Guys, you can get a real view of the countryside here. It's really normal for people to be blasting their music like on a Saturday like this.
Yes, this side you can listen to a kind of music, and the other side you can listen to a different one.
Yeah,
So,
and these houses, I love the houses. They're so cute. Hey guys, so we're just gonna show you. We really want to be able to go up there, but this is like a really, like it's like a pilgrimage. And it is way too hot. It's the middle of the day, and we've already been doing a whole bunch of stuff in the heat, so we ain't gonna make it up there today, but it's still worth showing. It's so beautiful. So this is the little chapel in the front.
And they portray the Christ's way to the cross after the church, going even...
Yes, and it's hard to see it from here, but there is a very long stairway all the way up the mountain. It's about a 1 to 2 hour hike up the mountain. If you choose to do that, come either in the early morning or at dusk, because this is a really, really hot little place. All right, so we are in Redenção, near the museum.
Say hello to the camera, Vanessa.